Since week 4 against Baltimore, 17 points below their average. Then Jacksonville, a touchdown over. And then here's your 3-game homestand at Arrowhead. Detroit was minus 18. The Raiders were minus 16 and Washington was minus 19. This Chiefs defense is truly like they are shutting teams down.
Amateur Hour Chiefs Podcast. Amateur Hour Chiefs Podcast. Amateur Hour Podcast on KC Sports Network. Amateur on KC Sports Network. Hour on KC Sports Network. Podcast on KC Sports Net. We're gonna talk Chiefs football for you, and you, and you, and you.
What is this, amateur hour?
Yeah, I ain't no Superman businessman like you. You know, I'm just an
Amateur.
I suppose.
Amateur Hour.
Is what's happening.
Amateur Hour.
Is what's happening.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
Yeah, that's right, folks. The show is called Amateur Hour. I'm Ryan Scott Hall, and the man flexing opposite me today, he put a shirt on just for you, folks, even though it is, I guess, a cutoff. It's like half a shirt, but it's his Dirkness. Oh, is that is an Ashton Gelati t-shirt.
Official jersey, official game jersey, game worn jersey.
Tasmanian Devil. Love that. Okay. Dirk.
Remember when that was a big thing, like the mid 90s?
Oh, I mean, yeah, just like Looney Tunes.
I don't know if it was a Chiefs thing or if it was every NFL team thing. I can't remember, but I remember Tasmanian Devil being kind of everywhere with Chiefs stuff.
Yeah, and weren't there others? I thought maybe other teams or the Chiefs have like incorporated cartoons. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, thinking of old Charlie Brown getting loose or something. I don't know. Dirk, you mentioned before this show started that the reason you weren't wearing a shirt and are now in just a cutoff is because it is unseasonably warm out there in California. Did you say 88 degrees?
88 degrees. And much hotter inland. I'm by the water, so it's usually cool here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So a super hot, unseasonably warm day in Los Angeles. It's almost mirroring how piping freaking hot your Kansas City Chiefs are.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Harrison Butker is with his 13 straight made kicks.
For some reason, I thought your tweet was like 22. Are you just making up numbers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I guaranteed 20 straight kicks at one point, and he's at 13 straight kicks.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. I wish that he were a little more automatic earlier in the season so that I could be like right there alongside you, just like, oh, here he goes.
It's Butker shutdown mode. He's saving it. He has to be at his best come January. Don't matter what he does in September.
Butker shutdown mode. Okay, interesting. Dirk, what's your big thing? The Chiefs won on Sunday, comfortably. What was your big thing after Monday Night Football? Huh?
That's right. Dirk's big thing. Step aside, Diggler. Time to talk big thing. So my big thing, I typically like to talk about, how thin the margins can be in the NFL, or highlight a few plays that could have swung the game, or maybe a player or a trend that's kind of flying under the radar, and I kind of just bring extra attention to, like something that most people kind of aren't talking about, or But today is not one of those days. I know we spend a lot of time talking Pacheco and Rashee Rice and Nick Bolton and Chimichurri. But today, I want to talk Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, because I thought Patrick Mahomes was outstanding in this game. I know he had the 2 picks, obviously, one not his fault. The other one, debatable, kind of, it seemed like a good play by the defender, but those back shoulders are always kind of weird because if the defender plays it right, then it just looks horrible. So tough to say. Hollywood kind of fading away from it, so tough to say. Probably a bad decision, though. But it's a good thing we have PFF grades, so we can cipher these out of if it's his fault or not. Ironically, this week, his second worst QBR of the season, which QBR is usually one of my favorites, but I do not believe, I do not agree with that assessment. I thought he was outstanding. The command he had of the football team in the second half, the skin of his face turning red, it felt like playoff Mahomes. Like there was no chance we're getting stopped on these drives. Because that first half felt very 2023, 24-ish. Breakdowns and protection. Mahomes didn't really have time to look downfield at all. So the Commies defense kind of crashing down on the shorter routes, kind of mucking up the offense. It was kind of like the last couple of years. It wasn't the fun that we'd seen the last couple of weeks. And that's where Andy Reid comes in. So I'm guessing he had made a few adjustments at halftime because the O-line was of zero concern in the second half. I don't have any stats to back that up or anything, but I'm guessing they started throwing a little help, towards Jalen Moore and Caliendo, who had a tough first half and kind of slowed the offense down. After that adjustment was made, the offense executed flawlessly. Classic Andy Reid, right? Well, how about unconventional Andy Reid? You smelling that? Is that a Dirk's Big Thing deep dive? Is that what that is? I didn't have the sound clip ready to go, so that's okay. That's the best you're getting today. Andrew Reid, aggressive on 4th downs this year. Something we have not seen a ton of. I had kind of given up on him ever truly embracing the philosophy of it, but also something that's been underrated in big games. Like he's made some big boy decisions in some big games that have paid off. So I kind of trust him in the big games, but we have not, this year, a whole different animal. I don't know if it could be Butker's struggles, maybe the new kickoff rules, or just embracing, where this sport is headed. But the deep dive here, I wanted to take a look at this because the Chiefs seem to be going for 4th downs every week and making them. So this season, the Chiefs are 14 of 17 on 4th downs. They are 5th in the league in 4th down attempts. The top 8 teams in 4th down attempts: Jets, Browns, Panthers, Falcons, Jags, Chiefs, Giants, Saints. You might notice most of those teams stink and they're kind of forced into going for 4th downs, whereas the Chiefs are easily the best team in that group and still going for it at a high rate. They're 3rd and 4th down percentage, all of which equals the most 4th down conversions in the NFL at 14. Opponents this year are 4 of 16. So that's a huge difference in what we're seeing. But I wanted to see how big of a difference we've seen. So last season, the Chiefs were 12 of 17 on 4th downs. Great efficiency, but only 12 total conversions all season. So wait a minute, let's keep this going. Let's going back the last handful of years. 10 for 20, 9 for 12, 10 for 15, 9 for 16, 6 for 10 in 2019. Six 4th down conversions all season. Remember, the Chiefs are already at 14 this year. It's the most for the Chiefs since 2009 when they got 14. That was not a good season. That was a case of a bad team being forced to go for 4th downs over and over. Best I can tell, it's kind of hard to research, but best I can tell, and I'm guessing they didn't go for a lot of 4th downs in the 60s, in the 70s. Those stats are kind of hard to track down. Best I can tell, the Chiefs' all-time record is 15 set in 1995. So they're 1 away from their franchise record for 4th down conversions. But wait a second. What about the all-time NFL record? The all-time NFL record for 4th down conversions is 24, set by Cleveland last year. Almost every top number in the top 5 is from like the last 3 or 4 years, mostly bad teams, plus the Lions and Eagles, who are obviously aggressive on 4th downs. So the all-time record is 24. The Chiefs are currently on pace for 30 30. They're on pace to shatter the NFL record for most fourth down conversions in a season. And that was just not on my bingo card for a coach who's not the oldest coach in the league anymore, because I guess Pete Carroll, the second oldest coach in the NFL, someone who is somewhat stuck in his ways, and someone who just has not embraced this philosophy throughout his career. It's shocking to see how he's done it this year. And we saw a good example of it this week with him converting a couple of those fourth downs. So I just wanted to take my big thing to highlight a couple big guys who we probably don't spend enough time talking about: Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Big thing.
Okay. That was big. Lot on my plate now, Dirk. And the first thing that I want to, take a nibble at. Did I hear that the Chiefs' opponents are at 4 of 16 on fourth down? So correct. 25% conversion rate for our opponents going against that Steve Spagnuolo defense. And meanwhile, the offense was 14 of 16 so far on the season. Is that correct?
14 of 17.
14 of 17. Those efficiency numbers that put them in, did you say 5th? Is that right?
Percentage this year, they're third and fourth down percentage this year.
So I remember last year, particularly in the playoffs, there was a lot of talk about how Washington, the team we just beat, now granted without Jaden, but it was like 18 of 20 or something, where people were like, this is impossible. No one should be able to do this.
I think it was the highest percentage in NFL history. I'm sure with some kind of minimum set there, but it was the highest fourth down percentage for an entire season. And it was something silly like 19 of 20 or something.
Okay, so this is then, and you mentioned that like basically all of these teams, inside the top 10 in terms of fourth down conversion season long are all from like the last 3 years. So this is obviously a trend. And I don't know. I think that we always knew, and by we, I mean any kid that's ever played Madden, like we always knew that going for it on fourth down was something that, like, for whatever reason, the NFL didn't seem to want to take advantage of. Same thing with 2-point conversions. It was like, I guess sometimes I'll take the extra point, but most of the time I'm going to go for 2 just because. And it is interesting that of all people to be doing it, it's Andy now. And, because sometimes with Andy, and I don't know, I haven't listened to the press conferences as frequently this year. So I don't know if somebody like Sam McDowell, who's super smart about stuff like this, that I wouldn't be surprised if he's asked Andy about it after a night like that. It felt like fourth downs were important for both teams in that game. And so it sure seems like, obviously it's your big thing, right? It's a topic of conversation coming out of that game, as aggressive as they were, and ultimately how they have been. The interesting part, I think, for me is that despite the fact that they have such a high hit rate, 10 of those 14 are probably just Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, like you're just turning around and handing it off to him. And I think Carrington and I had a short little exchange on Twitter, but I basically said, like, it seems like it's more about faith in Kareem than like Andy having this philosophical change. Do you agree with that?
That certainly helps. But like, I don't think, go back 3 or 4 years ago, and the game's changed a lot, but 3 or 4 years ago, there's no way he's going for a 4th and 1 like his own 35, which is he's done at least a few times so far this year. I know people got upset with him one day, but that was like a 4th and 2. I think there's a huge difference between a 4th and 1 and a 4th and 2. Like 4th and 1, you should be able to pick up just running the ball straight ahead, or tush pushing if you believe to do that. But there was the article last week also that, I don't know if that was Sam McDowell, but it was Casey Starr, that the Kareem Hunt run on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 has actually been more effective than the tush push. Going back however far they did. I'm sorry, I didn't read the article, but I did see the headline. That's good enough, right? But yeah, so I mean, Kareem Hunt going up the middle has been as effective as the touch, or more effective. So obviously that gives you a lot of confidence, and it's wild because that's something that like Chiefs fans have gotten mad about over the years. Where I think, sometimes it gets too cute, obviously, and so people get mad about that. But I think people just think that the Chiefs are worse at like short yardage stuff like that than they actually are. I think they've always been kind of average to pretty good. And it got to a point where we would just talk about it. Like, don't even run up the middle. Just put the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands and just call a normal play. Like, I can remember having those conversations. Like, stop trying to just plow ahead. And we were super frustrated because we had this interior line that everybody lauded as the best interior offensive line, but we couldn't pick up a yard. So obviously the Chiefs have moved past that now somehow. So I don't know what you want to credit that to. Kareem, the addition of Kingsley, who's got some praise a lot this week and has really, become a solid offensive lineman, maybe more of a, dominator up front than his predecessor in Joe Tooney, who was, unblemished in pass protection, but I don't know if he was really a mauler. So maybe that's helping out. But yeah, I mean, going for 4th and 1s is what a lot of these are. But credit to Andy for not punting those away because, this season's already had some dips to it. And if he didn't get aggressive in some of these games, it could be even worse off than it is now.
We're going to take a break, but first I do want to say Andy did it again, Dirk, at halftime or coming out either on the way into the locker room or out of the locker room. He got caught by whoever the reporter was. And they're like, Andy, you guys only had 7 points. What's going on? What do you think you need to do? And he's like, well, we got to get the run game going again. And I'm just like, Andy, shut up.
Liar.
You don't care about it. Stop flying, man. You don't care. All right, let's take a break. We'll get some more on the other side.
Looking to remodel your home and in search of a top quality company to do the job? Contact Elenco. Since 1986, Elenco has been the remodeler of choice for customers throughout Kansas and Missouri. As a family-owned and operated business, Elenco provides customers top-quality products and unbeatable service straight from their family to yours. From windows and doors to siding, insulation, and bathroom renovations, there's no need that Elenco can't meet and exceed. Elenco only installs products that have proven track records of success, such as the Kohler Luckstone shower system. Elenco's installers are factory-trained professionals who know how to get the job done, not only quickly, but flawlessly. Whether you're located in Kansas City, Topeka, Wichita, or a rural town in northeastern Kansas or western Missouri, Elenco will come to you. Go to elencohome.com for more information. That's ALENCO home.com. Again, elencohome.com for more information and contact them about all your home improvement needs.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, they knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
Actually, Dirk, speaking of halftime, I felt like the vibe at halftime of this game was largely like, let's just get a win and, avoid major injury, basically. But the Chiefs had something else in mind. Just a couple highlights, I guess, for me. In the second half of this game, Patrick Mahomes had more touchdowns than incompletions, 3-2. And
it was so good. It was so good in the second half.
The defense shut out the commies. 3 punts, forced a late interception as well. I gotta say, man, recovering like that, and playing essentially perfect football after such a dismal start. The first half was hard to watch at times. Just kind of one frustration after another, I guess. But had that game continued to be a nail biter in the second half, I mean, like, whatever, we were born in the dark, right? But because they so thoroughly walloped that franchise formerly known as the Washington football team, after playing down to that opponent for an entire half, I don't know, like, I'm starting to feel that feeling again. We've talked about the inevitability quotient of this team, but like, it kind of felt like, and you mentioned Butker shutdown mode. It felt a little like foreshadowing. You were in my mind almost, but it felt like a borderline flip the switch moment, like regular season edition. You know, when we've talked about this team over the last couple of years, when they have looked so bad, we've had to kind of force feed ourselves and anyone, you know, who cares to listen, that like that they're a January team. Like, they'll just be able to turn it on in January. And I think that meant that, like, if they really needed to in any game, that they could, but like, they were basically kind of, you know, Simmons used to talk about like putting Gronk in the garage and only pulling him out in the playoffs or whatever, or when it really matters. And that's kind of, you know, a different version of shutdown mode, I guess. But like, they weren't in shutdown mode in the first half. They just, I don't know, they're kind of shit down mode a little bit. I will say though, I guess somebody said that like Travis Kelce went to Rashee Rice at halftime and said, you have to get going. I can't remember who wrote that story.
We got to get our writers down. There's so much
sorry.
Yeah.
Honestly, God, you know what? I mean, it's been a crazy week. It's been a busy week.
He's there and Jesse Newell and
oh yeah, it was musical chairs a little bit. Tysher, you know, really screwed things up for all of us. Adam, you know, been a cornerstone of Chiefs coverage my entire
everybody
life.
Everybody moved up a notch except us. We just stayed down here as bottom feeders,
amateurs. All of that, Dirk, is to say that I don't know, man. I walked away really impressed because this team hasn't shown that. I mean, they didn't show it all of last season, right? Like, they finished games, but it was always down to the wire, you know, and it was all these close games and many improbable outcomes. And so I think if they would have ended up playing like that all the way down to the end of this one, it was like, okay, seen that before, been there. And would have figured that they would have won. I don't think at any point I thought they were going to lose, even though it was 7-7 at half. But I really wouldn't have been surprised if it stayed close. I think I was a little bit surprised that they came out and played very mistake-free football. I mean, they were dominant in the second half on both sides of the football.
It definitely had like the 2024 Chiefs vibe to the first half. And I was kind of ready for it, coming off a big win like that. Bills coming up next on a short week. It was just kind of like playing a backup quarterback. It's just like, we should beat this team. It's kind of hard to get up. And you saw that. I mean, Mahomes, I heard him 5 different times talk about the energy in the first half versus the energy in the second half. And it kind of looked like that. I mean, it looked like the Commanders wanted to go out there and shock the world. And the Chiefs were just kind of like, let's get out of here unscathed and get ready for this Bills game. So then the second half just turns it around. I kind of credit the defense for that, because they were just shutting down the Commanders. I mean, anytime you hold a team to 7 points, more than likely the Chiefs are going to kind of win by a couple scores because they're going to, you know, put up 18 plus at the very least. So the defense really shutting them down is kind of what opened that game up and kind of made it a blowout. But a couple stats here to kind of back up what you're saying. Regular season wins of more than one possession. Chiefs had 5 last year, and they already have 5 this year.
Oh. That's fun. Of course they do.
The Chiefs have more wins by 13 plus points in their last 6 games than they had in all of 2024 or 2023. So, I mean, they're winning blowouts at, was that 5 this season, 3 last year, and 4 the year before. So there's a good chance that they, beat those 2 seasons combined. And that's a season where they went 15-2, mind you. So that's a lot of wins that didn't come. I mean, we all know the story, obviously, but yeah, it is looking like a different Chiefs team. And really, you want to pivot to the defense, because the defense is shutting some people down. My favorite stat that I saw, I kind of mentioned 18 points because I had just seen a stat that kind of stuck in my head. The Chiefs have the 2 longest streaks of all time of scoring 18 plus points. They've done it 28 times, 28 games in a row, twice. Those are separated by 1 game in there where they did not score 18. In 2019, they scored 13 points versus the Colts, a game that we shockingly lost. I think we had a lot of our weapons out, I want to say, in that game, but a game that kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody saw it come. The Commanders were at 27 games, so they're 1 game shy of tying the Chiefs record that they have 2 different times. And the Chiefs defense put that to bed, held them to 7 points, ended that streak, and kept the Chiefs streak going. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
That's good. On top of that, Dirk, this defense has allowed 7 points in their last 8 quarters. And honestly, they're forcing turnovers at the highest rate in who knows how many seasons, which really, I think, brings me to what felt like, I don't know if I have a big thing, but like kind of my major takeaway.
It's all right, buddy. It's all right. It's all right. Not everybody can be that blessed.
Doggone it.
Put that one, Nick. Put that on the put that on our header.
Look, I want to talk about these turnovers, and I want to start with who I don't know how it just came to me. I think it was because you've been calling him Milk Carton Mike, but Mike Dana gets this interception. That was like first quarter, I think. Might have been the first drive, second drive. Early in the game, Mike Dana gets an interception. And, at the time, the football team was driving. And look, clearly a miscue by Debo, and Mike Dana kind of simply took advantage. Fun play, though, with the pop-up and everything. Like, I really hope that Kevin Harlan was like on the radio calling the game somewhere so he could do his old Chiefs call. Oh, baby, what a play! That'd be dope. I don't know if he still does that for Chiefs games ever. But like, look, I'm going to make a meal out of this play today, and here's why.
The Mike Dana interception?
From Mike Dana interception.
All right.
And here's why. Like, you taught me, Dirk, that the Kansas City Chiefs championship teams in the Mahomes era are, if memory serves, first, second, and third place in worst turnover ratio of every Super Bowl champion in NFL history.
I think it's least turnovers forced, not margin.
Okay. Not margin, but least takeaways.
Correct.
The 3 lowest takeaway teams in Super Bowl champion history. That was a mouthful. I said I was going to make a meal out of it, so you guys were. But look, you taught me that. And look, these are the exact sorts of plays. We're throwing a screen pass, and Debo, turns his head before it fully comes in. The ball pops up. And of all people, Mike Dana, in like year 6 or 7 of his career, getting his first interception in a game, like, these are the exact types of plays that we just never seemed to catch, whether it wasn't coming down with the ball, or just not getting the opportunity in the first place, I guess. I mean, look, even just a few weeks ago, the repeatedly bobbled would-be interception against the Jags that kind of served as the first foreshadowing of what was going to happen in that game.
I mean, could have almost won that game by making that play, yeah.
the Chiefs have struggled to take the football away for so long. I failed to consider that a defensive lineman like my guy, who I started calling Milkshake, Mike Dana, making a couple plays, not Milk Carton. He's got a milkshake.
Bringing Ryan to the yard.
The turnovers to the yard, I guess. I honestly, I think I failed to consider that someone like Mike Dana could actually touch the ball without it being deliberately batted down, flat out dropped, or penalized for some reason. And look, man, on top of that, apparently on the broadcast, I did not see this with my own two eyes. So if you want to independently confirm, you can. If Nick wants to confirm, he can. Anybody else want to confirm out there, they can. I saw that the Chiefs have fumbled the ball 8 times this season and recovered all 8 of them. 0 lost fumbles. And like, look, guys, you can check my math at home, but that's like impossible. And perhaps the most unbelievable of all of the turnover luck that I'm talking about here, Jack Cochran got an interception in the 4th quarter. It's like I think that this is a really big deal because it's like a luck thing. You know, don't get me wrong. Like, there are teams that are just really good at taking the football away. And, you know, Tyrann Mathieu was a guy that seemed like he could just take the ball away at will. And he played on some incredible Chiefs defenses. But like, even they weren't taking the ball away that often as, you know, many of these other teams are. And some of it does, I think, come down to preparation, obviously. But really, it's like when you start getting them, it's like they just kind of keep coming, you know, in bunches, as they say. And the Chiefs have not had that luck. They have not had that charm on them. And it kind of seems like they do this year, his Dirkness. And I think that's a big deal.
And I mean, don't forget the stat that I was throwing around earlier this year. This is old now, so it would need updated. But this was after the Ravens game. Or actually, no, it's just the last 3 seasons. I shortened it. So the last 3 seasons where the Chiefs have, you know, won 2 Super Bowls and gone to a third, they are -8 in turnover differential over that time. So it's just like, we don't even know what this team could be if they start winning the turnover margin. Like, we're seeing this team operate in the less of margins. Like, if they were to have a lucky season, like, I mean, the Bills were like, what, +20 or something last season? Like, they had an astronomical turnover differential. And the nerds always say those come and go. They go up and down. So if that luck thing were to switch, like we've talked a lot, the other one is the 1-score games, which we've seen that come the other way. Dominant 1-score games last year. Have we even won one this year? I think we've won maybe 1 so far this year, but like 1-3 in 1-score games, I want to say. So that's kind of turned the other way. But turnover differential is the other one that can swing positively for the Chiefs. And we've kind of seen that. So we haven't got too many looks at what this Chiefs team can be if they win that turnover margin. I mean, think of like the 90s Chiefs who just feasted on turnover margin. Like every single season, that was what made them good. They never had a good quarterback. They never even really had a good offense, but they had a great defense and they feasted on turnovers. If this version of the Chiefs can add that element to them, like, they can take another step. And that's kind of what's leading to like more and more of these blowouts. Like, that's why they didn't win so many 2-score games last year, because they weren't turning over the opposition. So once you kind of add that variable into the mix, that's what's kind of leading to like this blow up in point differential that we're seeing this season.
It's so crazy. So like, I wanted to use this as a positive thing, but here I am. As you're talking, I'm looking at some numbers. Let's take a break, and on the other side, I'm gonna walk you through why maybe being good at turnovers isn't as good a thing as I want it to be.
Chiefs Kingdom, what is your favorite touchdown? By now, you guys already know that my favorite touchdown is the next one, because with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. You want spreads? They got it. Over-unders? DraftKings got you covered. Same-game parlays, regular parlays? DraftKings has it, and you need it. And here's the best part. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Calling all Chiefs fans. You could be on the field at the 50 inside Arrowhead on GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. You enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pregame coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes while you're at it. Just enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. And GEHA is a proud partner of our Kansas City Chiefs. His Dirkness. I wanted to place this in your lap because I don't know what to do with it. While you were talking turnovers, I decided I'd take a look at some numbers real quick. 2022 season, you may recall the Chiefs were the number one offense in the NFL this year. It is the first season of Juju and MVS, the first season post Tyreek. The Chiefs were NFL champions, and their turnover differential in the regular season that year, at least, was -3. They're in the bottom 10 or so in 2022. And in 2023, also, by the way, Super Bowl champions, somehow in the regular season in 2023, those Kansas City Chiefs were -11 in turnover differential. 2024.
They turned the difficulty up on that one. They played all Madden that season.
Right.
I was like, we got to turn this up. It's a little too easy out here.
So combined in 2022 and 2023 regular season, the Chiefs are -14 in turnover differential, and they had 2 Super Bowls to show for it afterward. In 2024, I was expecting to scroll down to the bottom of the list, but in the regular season last year, Dirk, when the Chiefs went, I believe, 15-2, but sat everyone in that last week against the Broncos. The Chiefs were +6 in the regular season last year. And maybe that adds up to people that were like, well, yeah, they're 15-2. I don't remember being +6 in turnovers during the regular season last year. The Chiefs currently sit at +5 so far in 2025. And boy, they'd be +7 if it weren't for those 2 Mahomes turnovers against Washington. He only had 2 on the season in the first, was it 7 games going in? We've played 8 now, right?
Yep. The Chiefs only had 2 turnovers in the first 7 games.
Yeah. Well, 2 of the now 4 turnovers on the season. Travis Kelce's practicing for your volleyball team, man. He popped another one up.
Clean set.
Keeps setting it. What do they call it when you set it over the net when you're trying to fake out the other team? Like they're expecting you to set it up, but you
kind of like an overset.
Is it? It's not like there's not like a move for that.
It is a move. I don't know if it has a name. Oversets if you accidentally do it. That's what we see a lot. That's more of our level.
Okay. Well, look, I may have overset on the turnover thing here a little bit because I'm just like I want it to be. I'm seeing it and saying this team doesn't turn people over, and look at these takeaways, and especially like the style of some of these things, the ball just like landing in people's hands like that. That feels like, good juju for the defense. And sometimes, man, like I can watch this team. I think we can all be honest. And maybe he's getting a lot of double teams and stuff like that. But like Chris Jones is not dominating the way that we're used to, or the way that he's kind of paid to.
Did you see the stat? He had 0 pressures in the game. His first time since a 2021 wild card win against the Steelers. Defense did all of that with giving Chris Jones the night off.
But yeah, well, Andrew Wiley may have given Chris Jones the night off, potentially. I think he's playing right guard. I could be wrong.
He didn't start, did he?
If Wiley is not starting for that team, like, come on home, bud.
Early in the season, Allegretti was playing, and then they benched him and put in Wiley for him. But looking at the starters, Nick, can you check on that?
Oh, I think they're playing Connerly at right tackle. That's right, because they drafted Connerly and traded for Tunsil, and that probably relegated Wiley to the bench. But I guess he came Allegretti battling at right guard.
He came in he replaced Allegretti because I guess Allegretti was struggling. Made me really happy to see both of them after the game, by the way.
The hug that Wiley had with somebody was
everybody. Travis Kelce, everybody was hanging out with them. Yeah. They gotta miss these. They gotta miss the good old days.
For sure. And I'm not trying to like drive by on Chris Jones or anything with that. Yeah. But like he's not playing at best defensive tackle in the NFL level. And that's what is kind of expected of him. That isn't necessarily what is needed of him. At his salary, yes, that's what I want from you. But like the defense is obviously performing despite him not being at that level. But what's our biggest worry? The pass rush. And who's the highest paid guy on the line? It's Chris Jones. And he does not seem to be meeting those expectations. And I don't know why, but I think that is potentially the only thing right now that's kind of holding the defense back. And the one thing that could put them over the top is seeing classic Chris Jones down the backstretch of the season.
Yeah, correct. And Karloff has really picked up the slack for him this game. Karloff has had a great game. He was in there constantly. But yeah, with the Chiefs pass rush, you're basically getting, you got to get Chris Jones one-on-one, or you're going to get a Karloftis effort play, or you're going to have to blitz because nobody else seems to be getting home. No Gelati, no Minahu, no Dana, unless he's completely unblocked. No Tillery, no whoever else is playing defensive tackle for us right now. Maybe Mike Pinnell. Maybe he can do it. Not really his forte either. But yeah, they have a ways to go in the pass rush, and that's easily the biggest question about this team right now. But it is wild to see like how good the defense is playing with like a subpar pass rush, or call it mediocre, I guess. I wanted to highlight one guy who we have not spent much time this year talking about. And you've hardly even noticed him the last few games, which is a great thing for his position. That's Jalen Watson. He's kind of doing the Sean Smith thing right now, where like you're like, man, did Jalen Watson even play? Which is the best question you can ask for an NFL cornerback. Yeah. So I wanted to look at some numbers, pulled up some NFL Pro on his targets. Last 3 games. Lions, 1 target, no catches. Out of there. Raiders, 2 catches on 4 targets. Both of them screens. One of them, he hit the receiver 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. The other was a 5-yard gain on 2nd and 21. Those are the only 2 catches he allowed. Were both screen passes, which is, I technically, I guess, a catch allowed, but not really. This game, he actually saw 4 targets come his way. He had a screen go against him for 8 yards. He had a McCaffrey catch along the sideline, which was kind of like a Mariota major escape from the pocket. And so that's kind of the one he got, but Mariota probably held that ball for like over 5 seconds. So kind of.
Isn't that the one where you were like, I think you tweeted not at him or anything, but like, hey, push him, like contest it in some type of way. Don't just let him get his feet down.
Yes. Because if you look at the replay, if he just gets a hand on him, like, because his toes are like right along the sideline. Good play, but you want to see a little bit more from Jalen there, not just give up since it's on the sideline like that. He hits up the 5-yard slant to Ertz, which is the 4th down play, which gets the pointless ass virtual measurement that nobody understands and comes out like once every 4 weeks. What the hell is going on there?
First time I'd ever seen that, and I'm like, what the? They said, like, let's pause for a virtual measurement or whatever. Everyone was complaining about how it didn't go any faster.
Nope.
Ultimately, the graphic was funny, and it produced a really good tweet from Cody Tapp.
Yeah, I saw Big Cat was in on that too. Like, it's longer than it looks.
Hey, look, I guess I'm not the only one without a big thing. Okay? Solidarity.
I mean, the weird thing is, I think most people thought they'd be using sensors in the ball to help spot it, but they're not doing that. They're just still spotting it the same way. And instead of bringing out the chains, which is something we all want to see, all of us traditionalists want to see, we love that. And people are somehow got mad at it the last couple of years. Like, oh, what are they still doing? Chains are on the sideline. So they do this, which is just stupid. Like, I don't want to watch this. It changes nothing. It's not like a better system. It's just like, ooh, look at this technology. And you can really see Dan Quinn on his face after it's done. It's like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck am I looking at? How do I fucking, like, look at this computer screen? Okay, great. Yeah, 5 inches short. So that was ridiculous. So he gives up that. And then the other target is a screen pass that he almost picks off. He ends up tackling the dude 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, like almost intercepts the screen pass coming in from the sideline on that. So Jalen Watson, I mean, more or less given up one catch that was tackled short of the 4th down, where also Cook was kind of playing a short zone because he looked right at Cook after the play like, hey, you should have been there. And then the other one on the sideline. And that's basically all he's given up like the last 3 weeks. So if you want to see why the Chiefs are playing so well on defense, despite the mediocre pass rush, I think you want to look at the secondary. And it's almost back to this with Nolwarius kind of thriving on the outside and Spags getting away from the chimichurri playing in the slot. They're kind of back to this Jalen Watson and McDuffie and Nolwarius. If he can keep giving them solid snaps, they're going to have 3 shutdown corners. And that's what opens up everything for Spags to use the blitz. Now, all of a sudden, the kind of the issues we saw with the defense over last season was that they didn't really trust the cornerbacks. So they couldn't, anytime they blitzed, it was just like, okay, we don't know what we're going to get here. Now, when you're getting this great cornerback play, I think you're going to see Spags start to turn up the blitz schemes for big games. Like, he does a little bit of it in this game, but like you might see a lot of it in this Bills game coming up. And obviously down the playoff stretch when Spags starts to lighten the offense up.
Well, and you've got Spags essentially telling you that the reason that Christian Fulton isn't playing is because, you've missed all this time and it's really hard to, step in when you didn't get all the practice reps. And, obviously Noel has been playing well. And your boy, Jalen Watson. It's funny that once upon a time, the Chiefs were really, I don't know, they were all 6s and 7s, I guess, on is it Jalen Watson or is it Joshua Williams? They genuinely could not figure out who the better player was for like 2 years. And
it was every week going back and forth. Here it's 6, 7 again. Every week going back, your week. And that seems wild now because Joshua can't sniff the field on defense.
He is a special teams penalty waiting to happen. And that is really the only memories that I have of Joshua Williams for the last, at least season and a half, but maybe longer than that.
He's even got a challenger to his throne there because Jack Cochran, special teams penalties.
Bro.
They're getting up there. I mean, they're neck and neck. Like, it's kind of like the most exciting race going on right now. Who's going to lead the team in special teams penalties?
Will you remind me after the show to change the pars on what we normally send to refs? I just want to make sure that they're getting the checks and that they're happy with them, because it really seems like Jack Cochran is, on somebody's list somewhere.
Can I present an alternative theory? The Chiefs want to pad Patrick Mahomes' stats a little bit. You saw this week. Just this week, we had a 13-play, 119-yard touchdown drive. They started 9 yards behind the end zone. I think where the old TD Pack band used to hang out. That's where they set up shop. Where that now a guy in the Chiefs blazer who caught that football. He kind of hangs. That's where he was taking the snap at the start of that drive.
Nice.
I think that was like the fourth time in the last. I don't have the tweet from me now. It was the fourth time in the last 20 years or something that a team has had a drive that long. Obviously, if you don't know what's going on here, they got penalties, so those don't count as total yards. But then you gain the yards back. So that's how it leads to a 119-yard touchdown drive. That's excellent.
It's amazing.
But they're just doing that. They get this holding like, let's make Patty go 90 yards. More stats.
Did I ever tell you that my friend Chris Hazelton, grandpa, that he was in the Tony DePardo Pack band?
Yeah,
a couple of years there.
I think I knew that.
He's kind of done a little better. Shout out to Gramps. I've got a stat for you, and then unless you have anything else, we should talk about this Bills game. Stat tracker. If you guys have been around for a while, stat line.
Ooh,
used to be my thing. So I've been keeping an eye on the Chiefs defense and holding their opponents like under their season average for scoring, and just kind of trying to watch it week by week. And man, they're on quite a run. Sans that stupid freaking Jacksonville game.
Just disallow that game. I don't.
Since week 4 against Baltimore, 17 points below their average. Then Jacksonville, a touchdown over. And then here's your 3-game homestand at Arrowhead. Detroit was minus 18. The Raiders were minus 16. And Washington was minus 19. Dude, apart from the plus 7 from Jacksonville, again, minus 18, 16, 19, 17. This Chiefs defense is truly they are shutting teams down. And entering each of these games, we're looking at different things that they might be able, they can probably get them here. And, we know that those linebackers, there's still some issues in pass coverage. And, I don't know about this one, Matt, the Jimmy Churry, they could do the thing. And you know what? Nobody's scoring any points against them. They're not scoring. And I don't know exactly what's going on there, because despite the issues with the pass rush and everything, they're just so well coached and they play so confidently. They seem to really buy into the camaraderie and the believing in one another. You got to do your job and not step outside of that and all that kind of jazz. And you meant, that secondary is obviously, there's something in the water, in Dave Merritt's water fountain. There's something going on with that group, man. Cause everybody seems to be playing really, really well. And there's a chance maybe that Christian Fulton could contribute something to the Chiefs, maybe in trade, I mean, it's possible that they still try to use him as an asset in some type of way. I don't know if he's going to end up seeing the field or not, but having club control for a second year means that you can never have too many corners and that and the other and whatever. I think he may still have an impact on this team this year.
Exactly. So it's a few things. The reason he's not playing, people are probably confused on, or maybe people might be confused on why he's not playing. But Noel Warius has just grabbed the job. Yeah. And if Fulton isn't starting, he's probably just not really a special teams guy. So if he can't be one of those top 3 corners, you want to play the other corners like Joshua Williams. I mean, can you imagine Christian Fulton trying to get penalties on special teams? No, that's Josh Williams' job. That is his job to get penalties on special teams, not Christian Fulton's job. Yeah. So that's the reason he's not playing. Kind of a good problem, because your 3rd round pick is playing above his head right now. You obviously don't want to spend their money there. I would not trade him for a draft pick. just because I feel like as soon as you do, like you're going to lose a corner to injury, and then you're, in big trouble. Like you got to keep him around unless you're trading him for another player. Like if you're telling me you're going to trade him for a pass rusher, okay, now you're going to add something to this team. And so, I'll listen to that. But I will be upset if they just trade him for like a 4th or 5th round pick or something. That doesn't do anything for me. So
that doesn't add up to me either. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to trade a guy that you believed in enough to give him, a $20 million contract.
And I still believe, I think he looked good when he's played in his, very few snaps in preseason and in week 1 or whatever it was. But I remember thinking like, okay, I think he's going to be a good player here. Like he might solve this secondary issue where now it's just been Noel Harrison's coming in and done that. But another stat, talking about the defense here and the job they're doing, and kind of spin this forward towards the Bills game. Commanders averaged 149 rushing yards per game coming into this. I did not realize that. 2nd in the NFL. They got Bill at running back. Really not much else. They lost Eckler.
The quarterbacks move, that was my first thought was like, how much is Jaden running for? Or I guess it's mostly been Mariota this year. I think Jaden's only played 2-3 games, maybe.
But still, lots of running quarterbacks around the NFL. So I know they're probably doing it, and that's obviously helping here. But still, a high number, and Mariota can run. Chiefs held him to 60 yards rushing in this game. The much maligned run defense. And I'm going to spin this forward into that's kind of the key matchup with the Bills, who really got back on track this week. And if you did not see the stat, it was the most rushing yards in a game for the Bills since 1976, when Mr. O.J. Simpson was
skipped over the entire Thurman Thomas era.
Yeah.
That was what was it, 40-9 against the Panthers?
Right. Sounds right.
Yeah, I played Dalton in fantasy.
He had one great throw. I'll say that. I was like, "Ooh, look at that basket throw!" He really dropped it in there, but a lot of questions. People are saying soft benching Bryce Young. Getting off topic here, but Bryce Young looks fine. I wouldn't soft bench Bryce Young.
They're just not.
But regardless, the Bills, who had some struggles, really got back on track. And a lot of people, I don't know if they pay that much attention. They probably hear everything about Josh Allen, and he wins MVP. But since the Bills fired Ken Dorsey and turned the offense over to Joe Brady, they have been a run-first offense since that day. And that is what's turned them around from, I feel like when they fired him, they were like 5-5. Like they were really floundering that season. And the offense started struggling, and they really got back to running the ball. And that's what has led to them being as good as they have, and led to being Josh Allen being more consistent these past, call it 1.5 or 2 years, whatever it is. So that will be kind of the key matchup, because the Bills will want to come out and establish that running game. And there are lots of nerdy stats on the Chiefs' run defense not being good. Some of that is running QB related. Other parts of it are the Chiefs allowing the other team to run the ball a little bit. They don't mind. So it'll be interesting to see how they can hold up coming off a big rush run defense effort this week and stopping the Bills next week.
Well, they got an extra body this week. Old friend Mike Pennell.
You think he'll be suiting up? I guess he's in shape. He was on a roster, so.
He's been playing. He's been PFF rated in the same neighborhood as Chris Jones so far this year.
Better than Chris Jones.
I can't remember. I think it was Bear, maybe. It was like the Chiefs should obviously want Mike Pennell, but I don't know if Mike Pennell wants the Chiefs after them just flat out releasing him and not seemingly trying to bring him back through that down process.
I don't totally remember. I think he got mad because they tried to they do the practice squad thing. And then so his contract's not guaranteed for the full year or something. Like they tried to get a little cheap, and it really seemed to upset Pennell, because Pennell had some, whatever their tweets or Instagram, something that
I didn't even know that.
I'll see you guys from here or something. Like he was going to do something with the Bengals against the Chiefs.
Yeah. Look, he's from Kansas City. I think he went to Grandview High School or something. He is probably been a Chiefs fan most of his life. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what he was doing prior to a couple seasons ago, ending up on the field for the team. It's not like he was, playing a bunch for other teams or anything. Like they may have literally had a local tryout and he showed up potentially. And I'm not even trying to disparage the guy because I think Mike Pennell is incredible. And it was one of the strangest. I did not understand them releasing him to then just turn around and make a trade for Derek Nottie. And I also don't understand what it was that got him released from the notoriously cheap Cincinnati Bengals, that if he went to them and said, just release me, you guys suck and I don't want to be here, and the Chiefs are calling and they want me to come play for them, the Bengals will probably just be like, fuck you and fuck the Chiefs. So I don't know like what happened there, but obviously he buried the hatchet and wants to come back here, and he will be, I think he'll be active on Sunday.
I would think
be
so.
my expectation.
I mean, it's not like we have like that many snaps in there. I mean, he can get probably 15 snaps easily. But yeah, it was, I saw some speculation that so Chris Jones had the weird, bring Mike Pennell back post somewhere. And I was like, isn't he literally on the roster for the Bengals? Like
he said that like a week ago at the podium, we got to bring my brother Mike back. Yeah. And I'm like, Chris Jones wants to bring back somebody every year.
Yeah, it almost seemed like tampering. I don't know if a player can tamper like that. I don't know. But I saw someone kind of speculating that like Chris Jones was like playing like the moderator here and like going to Beach like, hey, if he asks for his release in Cincinnati, will you bring him back? Beach is like, yeah. And Chris Jones is like, hey, Mike, Brett says he'll bring you back if you get your release. Because then I saw, because he got released with some kind of designation, like not injury guaranteed or something that led them to believe that it was a player request. Like it was him requesting his release, not like a full team decision. So I think clearly Mike Pennell was not having the best of time. We'll see this over and over. I would think Wiley and Allegretti want to come back. If Trey Smith's back starts acting up again, why the hell not? I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, players got to. I get really frustrated because Myles Garrett just going on and on about how a loser of a franchise he is while he signs these fat checks over and over. Like, dude, the Browns suck. You've been there longer than you should know this better than anybody, how bad the Browns franchise is. You keep choosing to go back there. If you don't like it, make a change. Don't sign the new deal. And now it's just like pounding, oh man, my team sucks. Like, yeah, they've always sucked. So these dudes that just like kind of chase the money. Good. I mean, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But you're not going to be playing fun playoff football like you did in Kansas City. I'm sure L'Jarius Sneed has a huge bank account right now. I would guarantee he's not having as much fun these last couple of years with his big bank account as he was in Kansas City with a slightly smaller bank account. I'm done. I'm tired.
No, you're fine. I don't know if I actually got like the full stat out. I will say that so far through 8 weeks, the Chiefs defense has held their opponents to 74 fewer points than what their season average would tell you, based on each team's individual scoring efforts. That has gone from, they were holding teams to about a touchdown a game below the average. They're now up to 9.25 points per game. I'm pulling up the total points per game rankings right now, and it looks like the Buffalo Bills are at 29.6. So they're 30 points a game. That means that they should be around 21 on Sunday, based on the way that the Chiefs defense has been playing.
Riley got his formulas down. He's spitting out game results here.
Just saying. Saying.
Bills at 21. Got it.
We'll see.
Let's talk about Chiefs Bills a little more. It's a weird game. It's a really weird game for Bills fans. And I was trying to talk this out with Billy Pesto, just about like where's your head at? Because it's just like a lose-lose situation for Bills fans, because it's like either you win the game, or either you lose the game, and obviously that's not great, or you win the game and now what? You've beaten the Chiefs 5 years in a row, but you've lost to them in the playoffs 4 times, not 4 years in a row, but 4 times, in the last 5 or 6 years or whatever it is. So it's almost kind of like, as a fan, I was kind of asking him, like, does it almost make it worse? Like, do you even want to win this game? Because then it's just like, it would be so incredibly just like annoying. Like, oh, great. Yeah. Beat them in the regular season again. Great. But it doesn't accomplish anything. Like unless like, except for the standings and stuff, like, sure, you can get that playoff game in Buffalo, but like, I would just be so incredibly annoyed if they win another regular season game and then lose in the playoff game again. Like, I would just be at the point, like, they don't win the regular season game. Just don't win it. Just sit your starters. Just don't do something different. So it's a weird spot, whereas the Chiefs can either sit back and either win the game or lose the game and be like, well, see you in January, guys. Big deal. We'll see you guys later. We'll see how that one goes. It's a lose-lose for Bills fans and a win-win for Chiefs fans. So it's a weird game.
I think that's something I've been thinking about a little bit too, because I'm just like, if I'm a Bills fan and I've seen this regular season win, postseason loss, just like on repeat year after year, I'm and especially as a Bills fan, I mean, imagine being who we are, born in 85 and being Bills fans all your life, the number of Super Bowls that you've lost, or the number of times now in the recent era that you can't even seem to, hardly get to the championship game, let alone the Super Bowl. It's like, it's just always something that prevents it from happening. It would be, I think I'd already be where you were describing, where I'm like, I don't want us to win this regular season game. Like, how can we try to change the narrative? Just lose that game, like just lose that one, and then maybe we'll win the one that matters. Like, if that sounds like logic to me.
It would be it's like an NBA load management situation. Like, they're just like, no, we're not going to play Josh Allen in this game. Like that's how the NBA would handle it. Like, nah, we're just not going to do it. Like, they have like this marquee game set up. Like, all right, the two biggest stars Saturday night, national TV, and they're like, nah, actually, Steph Curry not going to play. He needs a game off. Like, that would be the NBA way. Can you imagine if the Bills did that?
I mean, yeah, well, especially because of it's the scarcity and the gambling and all that goes into it, that suddenly, people would just lose their freaking minds if whatever it was, in the inactives come out 90 minutes before the game. Josh just didn't.
Josh is down. He's down. Personal reasons.
For personal reasons. Yeah. It's sitting up in the suite with, his wife or whatever. I think it is so strange to be staring down the barrel of this game that feels like, for the networks, it's one of the games of the year, right? Like, this is, and who cares? Fuck the networks. Like, for fans, like, national fans probably still want to watch Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, even if they're, I've seen this game on CBS 5 years in a row. Maybe I don't want to watch it again, but like, it's basically Brady Manning. As far as the AFC is concerned, those are your two titans.
It's the biggest rivalry in the NFL. I mean, unless you're going to be like, oh, the Packers and Bears or something like that, but they haven't played a relevant game in 20 years. So, this is the biggest rivalry in the NFL, is Bills Chiefs.
In terms of two really good teams, two really good quarterbacks, and they just consistently play each other regular season and playoffs, a lot of years, but at least one or the other most years. It's kind of stitched into the fabric of what the league is these last few years. Allen and Mahomes is a headline matchup that everybody wants to see. And I'm excited to watch it, but it's weird to have a game like that I think for both franchises, both fan bases, don't care who wins it. Like, the regular season match, if we lose to the Bills, I'd be like, cool, we've done that a bunch, it's
the Kelsey clap from last year. Okay,
yeah.
Bravo. Like, we'll do this again. Like, we just know that they're going to be around at least in the final four of the AFC, and a 75% plus chance that they're going to meet again in the playoffs unless one of them loses to somebody else. It's almost like a preseason, just for these two teams.
And it's so weird as a fan, the experience of some of these games where it's like, how about this? Cranking past fan, and because I think we're slightly past fans. We're fans, but we do a little bit more than just the fan. It's really weird to not on the back end of these games not know, like, did they really put every single thing that they could out there to try to win, or is there some strategy involved in, I'm going to show you some stuff today that, hopefully is going to plant the wrong thing. Andy's doing the 3D chess. Like, I'm setting stuff up all the time.
Which they have confirmed. I mean, Chris Jones has talked about how he never, I believe, is lining up a defensive end against the Bengals in the regular season. Like, they purposely did not show that whatsoever in that Bengals game, which might seem like a minor thing, but it just goes to show that, like, that is on the table. Like, that is something that the Chiefs are considering, to not show something in the regular season game because they're so confident that they're going to play them again in the playoffs. So that does go into it, but it's a weird situation because the Chiefs are not as well off this year as, say, last year, where they could easily afford to, lose that game, but they still had only one loss on their resume. The Chiefs have a lot more on the line in terms of record and standings wise right now, because they're still, are they still in third place in their division, or maybe the Chargers? I can't remember. But they're still looking up within the division, which is huge. Otherwise, you've got 3 road games no matter what, and still have a chance to catch the Bills for that 1 seed. So there's kind of more on the line in this game this year for the Chiefs than in other years. So it'll be interesting, just their mindset of, are they going all in for this game? Because it is important enough to get caught up in the standings with a few tough games after this still lurking. Like, the Chiefs do need this win when you look at the standings. So it'll be interesting, which this will be stuff that, like, it's hard for us to tell. I mean, this is stuff that they would discuss in meetings. Like, do we want to give this look? Like, one thing that crossed my mind was, against the Commanders, it didn't seem like they're doing many under center runs, which they started leaning to heavily going into that game. And then all of a sudden in this game didn't want to show that at all. And that kind of popped up on my radar of, well, that might be something that they don't want the Bills to see, and now we'll go back to it against the Bills. So just stuff like that they want to see, that you want to save, stuff like that, where the Chiefs' mindset is at heading in this game.
And it's like, in some ways, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If Andy burns a bunch of new stuff and they look amazing, you're going to be like, oh man, oh God, they just blew out the Bills. But then you're going to be like, wait, why did they do all that? Like, and then I'm going to start asking, why'd you want to do all that in the regular season, Andy? Like,
what the hell were the Chiefs thinking blowing out the Bills? What are they doing? We're going to leave. My big thing next week. I am pissed off that we won that game by 30 points. I am livid. What are we doing?
I do.
Both teams should sit their quarterbacks. I mean, they're perfect.
I do think that
Minshew would kill. I don't know who their backup is, but Minshew would kill. Who's their backup? Jeff Toole, EJ Manuel, Trubisky. That's what I'm like.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that'd be fun. One thing I do want to mention, that I if I'm a Bills fan, it matters to me a lot. Like, it matters to me a lot. This thing I'm going to mention, I do that sometimes, where my appetizer is bigger than the entree.
So you order like 5 appetizers.
I mean, but no, I think something that, if I'm a Bills fan, matters to me a lot is, this is the last season in Ralph Wilson Stadium. Like, they're getting ready to move into a new one. And so something about, this is the last time we're playing the Chiefs here, unless we see them in the playoffs or whatever. Like, there's so many, like, every game in that stadium probably feels precious to them. And it's almost hard to have that crowd be better, than they normally are. But I do think that they are probably feeling a pretty major sense of pride about exiting a stadium that they've been in for a really long time, and probably excited in some ways for their new home and whatever. But, like, we may be having some of those moments, in the next few years, where it's like, you're going to be flying back to Kansas City as many times as you can to go to Arrowhead before they leave, And I think that is in some ways probably what's happening with Bills fans as they prepare for this new stadium. And so maybe they do actually want to win instead of trying to just lose this one intentionally.
But also, I mean,
let them score.
A lot of this is tongue in cheek from us. I mean, they owe it to the sport to, put on a show. The fans want to see these two teams show out. And they basically always do. But I do think there's an element of that they know all the eyeballs are on them. They know this is the biggest game on the NFL calendar every single year. And because of that, they want to win. It would be interesting to just talk to ask Mahomes, what is losing to them 4 years in a row in the regular season mean to you? Does it mean anything? Or is it just a speed bump and he's so laser focused on winning Super Bowls that it's just doesn't matter because we've, moved past it kind of thing. But or is this something that actually bothers you? Does it bother you that I think his career record against Josh Allen's only 5-4? So, if Josh were to win this, it gets even up. Does that actually bother him at all? And, I don't know what his answer would be. If you were to answer honestly, I know what his his, fake answer might be, but like talking to him just at home, hanging out.
I've always wondered about the little petty rivalries that guys might have that you just know nothing about. If you got, Mahomes on Truth Serum and you ask him that, I know you and Josh, it seems like back and forth, you got the 5-4 record. Is he the guy that you like to beat the most? And suddenly Patrick's actually, you want to know who it is? Fucking Mike Glennon. I hate that guy. He stole my girl when we were in this, I don't know what it is. Just
Mike Glennon stole his girl?
Actually, it sounds like, according to, reports, his girl has been Brittany since he was, in Huggies or something.
Since he stole her from Mike Glennon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But I like to imagine that the rivalry that we all think is the big one, it's actually some innocuous guy. No, it's the backup's backup up in Minnesota. I can't stand Josh Dobbs.
The astronaut? I fucking hate the Pastor. I could keep it here on Earth. A few notes just from Pesto, asking Pesto about the game.
Okay.
They had two dudes who were suspended for the first 6 weeks. Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hoyt. Hawked. I don't know how to say it. He played for the Rams. He's like a 300-pound edge rusher. It's huge.
Oh, okay. And Ogunjobi is kind of a tweener, but mostly D-tackle, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Which is probably big with Ed Oliver going out for I think the season. I swear the Bills lose a few key pieces on defense every single season. Usually Matt Milano or a corner or something, and it's just they can't overcome that.
They haven't lost Bosa yet, but that's coming.
And their defense has been terrible this year. I mean, that's the biggest difference with the Bills this year. Usually they have a really good defense, and it kind of fades away with those injuries, and then the Chiefs pick them apart in the playoffs. This year, they've had an awful defense from the start. But he said it was no surprise they had their best defensive game of the season with those two pieces back in the rotation. So that was one thing to, he said, keep your eye on.
But it was also because you played the Panthers.
With the same record as the Chiefs.
With Andy Dalton playing quarterback.
He actually said that. Plus Carolina was his end quote on that. Plus Carolina.
Right. I wanted to be you gave up 9 points to the Panthers. Imagine what the Chiefs are going to do. That's a callback to last night. I was on Twitter for about 5 minutes.
Ooh.
And there was a tweet that was really making the rounds in Chiefs circles about some Colts fan. And he was kind of trying to say that the Chiefs aren't scary.
Was it because he was talking about the Chiefs history versus the Colts?
Something like, am I supposed to be scared of the Chiefs? Yeah, what, you scored 28 tonight? Boo, whatever. I don't know. It was stupid. You want to do some sports nuts?
Yeah. Well, one quick thing. I saw this weird stat. It was from Cody Tapp, who we mentioned earlier. The Chiefs are facing the top 4 rushers in the NFL over the next 4 weeks. I thought that was really interesting. Next 4 games. Dobbins is a surprising one. Taylor.
Cook, Dobbins, Taylor, and then who's the fourth? I didn't think Dobbins would be up that high.
Dobbins is a surprising one. Here, I got it here. It is
who's up on
the Cowboys. It is Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams.
Those are the top 4 rushers in the NFL. 5th was actually Rico Dowdle, who was, I swear, only been playing half the games. I kind of thought Carolina might run all over the Bills just because their run defense has been like Derrick Henry's had one big game this year, and it was against the Bills where he went for like 200.
We should also mention, I guess, before we do sports nuts, we've been doing the kind of vibes watch on Pacheco, and the vibe right now is or Mojo. The Mojo is you're not gonna play because you banged your knee a little bit, buddy.
You think?
Oh, I thought they like said he's out.
Oh,
well, they said week to week, which to me says not playing this week.
But the mojo for Pacheco this week when he was crowd surfing, did you see that play? He's like they just like lifted him up and he was kind of just floating around. I think he had the time of his life. He came back down. He had a huge smile on his face, like that was. He's like a 12-year-old that's jacked up on Mountain Dew. Or like he's like that was fucking up. Put me up again.
Sneaky interesting. If he's not playing, you're going to see Elijah Mitchell for the first time in the regular season. And you may see a healthy dose of Rashard Smith in a way that, you haven't outside of the fourth quarter of a blowout. That actually would be a big loss with what I was just saying with the Bills run defense being as bad as it is. Like Pacheco is the guy you'd want in there to take advantage of that. And I don't know, like if they just decide that it's like mostly Kareem and Rashard Smith, but like Elijah Mitchell, give him some looks. You paid him the money and you've been keeping him inactive so that he can get fully healthy. He did not look fully healthy in the preseason to me. Adequately healthy, but not fully back. And he's been on the shelf for 8 weeks. Like he should be fresh. And I feel like this is a good game to, maybe give him a handful of carries. And you want to establish the run. He keeps saying, "We'll run that football." And you gave him the same money as basically 2 guys that I just mentioned, Rico Dowdle and Javonte Williams and Dobbins. 3 of the top 5 rushers in the NFL basically got the same deal as Elijah Mitchell this offseason. Yeah, that's wild. So I mean, that's earn the paycheck. Give him a chance to earn the paycheck. Yeah, right? I'll see what he can do. Yeah. Chiefs Bills. It's gonna be a headline, folks. Let's sports nuts here.
Oh boy, what a sports nut, huh?
I'll start sports nuts. Dirk, we installed a car seat at halftime.
Oh, brother.
Can I just
you rethinking this whole thing?
No. I love my wife.
Throw me a freaking bone here.
Does not care at all and thinks it's ridiculous that I care. And I really honestly,
man, the baby or your wife doesn't care? Which one?
No, my wife. Okay, she doesn't. Just us.
The baby would.
Honestly, I think that Hazel has been trying to have my back a little bit, but it's not working.
Sources have been telling me that. That's what I saw some tweets on it.
Well, naturally, it took longer than halftime, so I missed a little bit of the opening drive of the second half. But it kind of turned out to be a happy accident because I didn't actually see Cochran's special teams penalty. And I don't think it would have gone over very well for me or for Jack. And so I'm glad that my wife chooses opportune but still inopportune moments to do, random household chores.
At least it was.
I asked for this 3-hour window, and right in the middle of it, you say, "Hey, let's go install this thing that we could have done at any point over the last 2 months."
She could have done like the 3 hours are up, like with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like, all right, now.
In this one, I would have been like, "Sure, sounds good. Don't need to be watching the end of this game." But yeah, that was my sports nuts. We installed a car seat at halftime. I tried to listen to Mitch. I didn't have it up loud enough, and I just, But at least I missed Jack Cochran's speech.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I would have just listened to a Chiefs game on the radio. That sounds brutal.
You didn't? I actually I have very fond memories of Chiefs radio, but I think early Mitch.
Parking lot, kind of.
Yeah.
Not like
some of I think parking lot for sure, but just, I don't know, being a kid, I feel like my family was big on like muting the TV and turning up Kevin Harlan, or Mitch took over in like 94, 95, something like that.
That's it. That's a good way to go.
I'm a radio guy.
Oh, if you listen now, you'll be supporting our producer, Nick.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he produces. Yeah, him and our guy.
Figure it out, Nick.
Joshua Briscoe.
Help the guy out. All right, Sports Nuts. Mine is actually not Chiefs related. It was the same night as Chiefs related, but feels relevant enough. The Dodgers World Series game that went into 18 innings was going on. And I hadn't fanned out like that for a sporting event in a long time. And I think I just realized that like I fucking love late night live sporting events when everybody else is complaining, and I get to see the what time is it on the East Coast for when this game's going on, which is wild because the Blue Jays haven't been in the World Series in 30 years. And that game ended at 3 a.m. Like that is like I'm a night guy, and I was getting a little tired at midnight here. I can't imagine watching that game at 3 a.m. I hope Toronto just completely canceled work the next day. But like it made me think of like these other like the Australian Open in tennis. Like I always get into just because it's on like super late at night, and it just feels, I'm not sure what it's like. It's like nobody else is up watching this, so it's kind of like a private thing. Like something could happen and be like, man, was anyone watching that? And or like Olympics kind of happen late at night like that. Like I realize it's just like it's also because I'm always forced to get up early in the morning to do sporting stuff. And that ain't my speed. So this is like my revenge when everybody has to bitch about being up late and falling asleep during the game or something. And it's finally Dirk's time to enjoy a live sporting event late at night.
Well, I mean, good for you, because now you've got, I don't know if the Pac-10 exists anymore, but it sounds like, being a late night sports guy, whack and pack is really what you're looking for. But I don't
whack's still around.
I don't know if either one of them are, but maybe you can just watch Hawaii on ESPN, the Ocho, most Saturdays.
As I do.
That you also do, you're a DVR guy. I gotta get back on my DVR game, man. That way I can just, if she says, hey, let's go install a car seat at halftime, I can say, sure. Beep, beep, pause it up, go do the thing.
That is an easy solution now.
Yeah, it would be.
Somebody send Ryan a DVR.
Yeah, I need a TiVo specifically.
TiVo.
Send me the box and remote.
Beep, beep.
Man, TiVo. All right, folks, this has been another episode of Amateur Hour. I am Ryan Scott Hall. He is his Dirkness. The Chiefs and Bills, I believe, are playing in the afternoon, probably on CBS with Jim and Tony, where they belong. It's going to be a really, really fun Sunday afternoon, no matter what happens. I hope to see you all there.
At the game? For Chiefs.